Patrick Bonney.
Michael.
Patrick Bonney.
Michael.
Patrick Bonney.
Michael.
The man arrested,
but not yet
in prison. How you doing, bro?
I'm good.
Nice one. Nice. Today, this morning, you're looking fresh.
Oh, Charlie.
You're looking fresher.
Thank you.
Like an 18-year-old.
Jesus Christ.
Okay. So let's begin our discussion from the Black Stars. Now, we have a task ahead of us. That is Madagascar on Sunday, exactly 2 p.m. Now, we need a win to seal qualification to the AFCON, next year's AFCON in Ivory Coast. What do you think? Is it a done deal for the Black Stars to secure a win, or is it going to be a cagey encounter between these two clubs?
Well, let me say good morning to our listeners out there. Sometimes when you get home or you get to work and somebody tells you that I was listening to you on radio, sometimes you'll feel like you are honored. So big ups to everybody listening to us.
Of course.
And then when it comes to the cleanup exercise I've been advocating for, you see, the last time when I brought the white woman from the US who came here, when we're going, she was telling me that she loves Ghana, but the problem is our field. He said there's death everywhere. So I think we need to look at it. And then when it comes to the Black Stars, we've been to successive, AFCON
tournaments.
And then it's just like 40 years down the lane, we are struggling to win the AFCON. So for me, if we qualify to the Mondial, that is the AFCON in Ivory Coast, it wouldn't be a surprise for me. We've done it over and over. So for me, I think the kind of squad we have now, looking at the young boys coming up in world football in Europe and our stuff, they have the quality, they have the abilities to play on the pitch. But the thing is that, are we really ready to conquer Africa next year? That is where my worry is, because football is played on grass. You can have all the quality players, but if you don't have that right frame of mind, if you don't have a plan, it becomes very difficult. So for me, Chris Hughton has taken over a very young team and he's trying to work with the team. So for me, I'll give him that bit of space for some time now, so that we'll see how well he will put the team together. Against Madagascar, we're all in Ghana, where Ghana was beaten by, Comoros, and then everybody was just talking about it. So definitely Madagascar wouldn't be a mere part in the work for us. It is going to be very, very tough for us. So I hope we go out there and improve our mantle. We have a very solid squad, experienced players on board. Thomas Tepati, obviously, another great player in the team. If you look at, everybody's talking about Ines Noama. For me, it is not a surprise. Because if you are in the Denmark league, the Danish league, and you are doing exploits, fine. It's one of the leagues out there in Europe. But
even won the best player of the tournament.
It is not a top elite football league in Europe. So definitely, for me, he's a good player. We just have to give him time and space. I don't like the buzz around him. The kind of hyping they are doing, because we saw Kamal, Dean Sulemana, the same thing was done, but look at him. So for me, we have a very young team, and I'm hoping that come tomorrow they will put smiles on our faces.
Now you are talking about conquering Africa. Now I want to ask, what can we do to conquer Africa with this kind of players we have?
Conquering Africa, it has to take a little bit of step. You have to have a plan. That is why I've always been saying that, looking at my age and then remembering Uncle Ben Kofi for the 5-year development plan. Out of that plan, we had the Sule Ali, Muntaris and co taking us to the Under-20 World Cup finals in Argentina, where we were second. And then that same team, the integral members of that team took us to 2006 World Cup. And then South Africa 2010, we saw Sule and Steven. Those guys were, John Mensah and co, were still in the team. So for us to go out there and win the AFCON, I think it will take a very long time. But we shouldn't forget that there's luck in football. So for me, all things being equal, if we have that kind of luck and then we do, our planning is also intact. Because look, sometimes we sit here and then we invite players from Europe to come and play. And then I'll always not agree with this kind of thing we are doing. Somebody will invest into their leagues. They will take up strict measures to make sure that their league become one of the best in the world. Then you go out there and go and bring your players in there, leaving your domestic league. You get it? So without Ghana paying attention to the domestic league, where we can fuse the players from Hasufo, Kumasi, Asante Kotoko, Adriana, to play with these boys coming from Europe, we should forget it. It will be very, very difficult for us to win the AFCON.
But what's the issue? Is it that our Premier League is not that exciting? It's not. doesn't have the quality. That's why they don't call our local players into the Black Stars. I just don't get it, Patrick.
You see, the problem is nurturing, scouting, identifying the right players. As we speak now, Sadat Mohamed of RTU, I am a House of Folk fan.
Yeah.
But then watching the Ghana Premier League from last season, when RTU came on board into the Ghana Premier League, watching RTU and then that boy, Sadat Mohamed in their midfield, the guy is, for me, he's doing so well in the midfield of RTU this season also.
Yeah.
You get it? So me sitting here, I've spotted that young man. I remember when Mudasiru was in Kotoko. I kept on reiterating that the guy was the best midfielder in the domestic league for 3 seasons. You get it? But where did we take the young man to? We never brought him on board in terms of the blaster proper. You get it? And these foreign-based players, because they know that they will be invited, they will not give you 70% of their performances. Look at the Brazilians, look at the Argentines, look at the Germans. You get it? When they are playing, you can see that this is a national team. We are players in here, when they come, they just come and do something on the pitch. And then you see us, sometimes we are worried. You get it? So for me, until we fuse the local-based players with the foreign-based players, we should forget the domestic league is having quality. We have some qualities in the league.
Yeah.
Look, Claude Leroy,
yeah,
when he was in, Cameroon, he spotted Jojo Ponria for Arsene Wenger when he was in Monaco. In the history of African football, the only player to win the Ballon d'Or, Jojo Ponria. But Cameroonian League, that was where he was spotted at that time. So we cannot sit here and claim we don't have players here in the domestic league that any coach will come in here and spot. Are they not the same players that people are poaching through Right to Dream and they are going outside? They are the same boys.
Yeah.
But we are here, and then because of, I will always say this, because of money, we turn blind eye on these boys. Foreign-based players will come in, and then they will settle some people. You get it? Look, I'm surmising this. Somebody will tell you that, where's the evidence? But it is clear out there. We were here when we were speaking about Ghana football here and there. People will tell you that we should bring evidence. And нас brought the evidence. But still, Ghana, we did not believe the evidence. You understand?
Yeah.
So the domestic league has a lot of quality in here. But the leaders controlling the football, they don't have any plan for it.
I'm really happy for Hafiz Konkoni. He got caught up into the Black Stars. But I feel he was even lucky to get a call-up because of some injured players in the Black Stars.
First of all, you cannot name about 25 players for your national team without looking at your domestic league until players don't
get
turn
injured.
up in injury before you bring them. Doesn't mean they are just second to none.
Yeah.
Is that what you are trying to tell them? That is the problem. You sit here, you can go and scout a player in a German league somewhere, League 2 or whatever. The player is not even doing well. Then you bring them in here. And then you tell me that this whole Ghana Premier League, last minute, then you brought in Hafiz Konkoni. They just want to make that statement that the coach was going around the league centers watching games.
It, yeah,
you understand? But for me, I will not fault the coach. We need to have a deliberate and conscious attempt in trying to bring some players on board. Didi Dramani became Didi Dramani because of Marcia Asante Kotoko.
Yeah.
Siki Akono, when they gave him the blaster, it was because of the local league. You get it? But when they get to the higher echelon, when they get the blaster job, forget it. They don't look at the boys in here. Obenya, ahin Obenya ono. Ofre waden Obenya ono. But Ofre, if they bring in you bring in some players from somewhere, the Obenya bibi womu. And football business is not like administrative work, normal administrative work. It's a different ball game altogether. You understand? When they are going in for elections and all stuff, where do they get the money to do their campaign and all stuff? When they get a seat, that's where they have to recoup that money, and that's what they are doing in there. And for me, it is sad. Our main politics in Ghana, we do the same. You don't even question where the political parties get the money for their campaign.
Yeah.
They will give you 100 cedis. That's the same thing going on in our football. So, Charlie, that is the system. And then we are not getting anybody who will come in and come and change it.
You ignore your
domestic, yes,
your top goal scorer in the Ghana Premier League.
You see, if you look at Hafiz Konkoni, he's been consistent in the Ghana Premier League.
Yeah.
For the Bechem United, year on year, he's in there. He's proving he's a good striker. Yeah. You get it. But for Abednego Tete, for me, his prominence. Yes, his prominence in terms of getting the top scorer is something just in the blue moon.
But should we say we should blame Accra Asofo for that?
For
Abednego Tete.
No, you cannot blame Accra as well. You are a player. They bought you. They were paying you salary. So you need to work for it. You need to earn the salary. You know, so when you are working for somebody and you are not earning the salary, you pay for it. You need to work hard, visit the gym, read books, get a nutrition. Look, if you are working and you want to improve yourself, you need to get people who will help you to grow. So when he was in House of Oak, I didn't know what the problem was. But the guy was just bad for the club. I went to the stadium sometimes watching him for the Oak Tree. I asked myself, how did they sign him? On what merit? How did they get him?
How did they get him?
Maybe he was going through his own psychological problem here and there that nobody was aware of. So Charlie,
for Abednego Tete, I know him one-on-one. I've seen him train in Ashaman. He's Ashaman boy, so I've seen him train in Ashaman and all that. I for that time I didn't even know that Accra Suffolk would even sign a player like this.
You see, House of Oak and the way they sign players, for me, there's always going to be that question mark. You get it? Because you don't go in for players who cannot improve their abilities.
Yeah.
You need to get and one funny thing is when they bring in the young boys too, they also can't cope with the pressure and everything that is within the team. So for House of Oak and Abednego Tete, his era, I think it was so awful for the young man. He was virtually not in Accra as a whole. He wasn't that striker for them.
Of course.
He was missing the runs and everything.